Greetings, ladies
and gentlemen,
kings and queens.
Yeah, welcome to another episode of
The Afro
Review. We welcome back Mr.
Daniel Francis.
Nice to be here.
Right, he is the author of the two books you see before us, The Millennial Mind and The Millennial Experience. Daniel, tell us a little bit about, well, for the new viewers, tell them a little bit about yourself.
So, as I said, my name is Daniel Francis. I am a personal development coach and of later self-publishing coach. I've been doing this about, 4 years now? And as part of this whole journey of coaching people, doing webinars, just helping them become their best self, my first book was born, The Millennial Mind, just off the question of how do I reach more people.
Right.
And it was just widely successful even during the pandemic. And it led me to write the second book, The Millennial Experience, which launched this year. Karen is actually in the book, just for people who don't know. And it kind of launched a portion of my business that helps persons to self-publish, similar to how I did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason we brought Daniel is, remember our tagline is facing our issues and formulating solutions, right?
It's going to be a good one.
And some of the things or some of the issues that we have in our community presently is that we do not have much coaching taking place, whether it be on a personal development standpoint or financial,
emotional,
nothing.
In all the areas, really.
Yeah, in all the areas.
Yeah.
So, Daniel is one of my very loyal customers, right? Yeah, clean him up after yesterday evening to come this morning, you know. I think it is imperative for us to really start reaching out to persons in the community and giving them the opportunity to access people like Daniel to help in whatever way. You know, sometimes we may have reached a plateau in life where we think, you know, where next do we go? What next do we do?
Well, for me, it's even it should, especially in our community, the Black African community, it should even be before that,
right?
Because we were saying before we start here, how much 1,000 children just write CXC,
right?
Where are they going?
Yeah. What did they learn?
To go into some kind of dead-end job and get stick there. And when you catch yourself 10, 15 years past, you study something, you know, we have a child or two, and they can't really do anything different because you need to provide for them and you want to provide for them.
Yeah.
How about we use people like Daniel and his services to reach them at that age to improve the situation?
Yeah.
I think with schooling is always very tricky because you're talking about an establishment that was made in the past, but it's still treating persons in the present.
Madness.
So when you...
Madness.
Yeah. So when you talk about the fact that, all right, you have, like I think about my parents, right? Their generation was you get a job, you get a degree, you get a degree, you get the education, you get a job, you stay in a job, get a pension, life is nice. Yeah, that don't really work for us, right? You know, we can't really do that because they and it's no fault of our parents, but they just did what they thought they should do. They say, hey, get the education.
Without really challenging, they just went through.
Yeah, so I mean, most of us got an education our parents may not have gotten, but then it's like we all have it now, but we're missing certain key aspects of life skills, right? You have these educated individuals, but they don't know how to adult. They don't know how to do life. They just know how to kind of
say.
Yeah, you know, you're moving off of what type of structure you're accustomed to, and I don't think a lot of people realize it, that a lot of what we do is automatic. So in the first book I talk about the push-pull factor, the push factor being we only really react to stimuli from the environment.
Right.
You're in school, you have an exam, study.
Right.
You might study early, but more than likely you're cramming because the urgency to get it done is now closer. So you're working on that, right? You get accustomed to that flow.
Right.
You now become an adult and you have more freedom, more responsibility, more choices. But you're already conditioned to only react. So in your parents' house, school done, you start to see your mother watching that kind of way, like, why you just home all day?
Yeah.
Pressure to get a job. You get a job, say, all right, cool, I'm making money, I don't really know exactly what to do, but I don't like to walk.
Yeah.
I always had to be asking for jobs.
Yeah.
Pressure now, buy a car.
Right.
You have the loan for the car, you have to pay for the, and it just goes and goes until at this point where you might be in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you have these things, you have this debt, you have these life decisions you've made. You're not really sure how you got here exactly. Of course, you may be happy as well, but if you weren't very intentional and your whole life has just been push factors sending you in a particular direction, you're just like, well, now I'm here, but am I happy? Am I satisfied? They won't teach you about things dealing with pull factor, like what is it that you actually want from life, and then working towards getting it. Even if you make a plan or you don't exactly know how you're going to get it, most of us are not doing that intentional thought. So we're just kind of, the way I describe it, you're just like a stream you're like a leaf in a stream.
Right.
Wherever the tide's pulling you, you're more or less going.
Going, right.
Opportunity drop, you take it. Something goes wrong, you just deal with it at any point in time. But why not make a boat with a rudder and oars and say, okay, instead of me going this direction, I want to go that direction, because when I go that direction, I get a waterfall with a pool with fishes and I could live there. Right? Most of us aren't doing that, and then we only realize our life is in crisis when
we going over the waterfall.
Like we
ready to die.
Something mentally breaks us.
Yeah.
We financially in trouble.
Yeah.
Whatever particular aspect of life we've been kind of letting fall through the cracks, we're now saying, okay, how do I deal with this? And it shouldn't really be like that. We have so much things that we can't do from early. It's just the system will fight it just because it's not accustomed to that.
Right.
For now.
For now, yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I try to show people in the book, and what I teach, because it's sad to me because it's real simple. It's not hard. It's not difficult things to grasp. But what it is hard to do is to now remake somebody to understand that it's not difficult, because your whole life you've just been seeing
following a certain
this. Yeah. So when you tell them, hey, you have this and this and this, they're just like, well, I live in here.
Yeah.
So everything outside of here is just terrifying.
Yeah.
But everything outside of here is growth.
Yeah.
And growth means you can now get to a better place. But I understand it's scary, it's hard, it's difficult. You just have to.
Yeah, and leaving our comfort zone is never easy.
Yeah, no, like, I know for instance, you, me, all of us here, we're accustomed to discomfort. Especially if you run your own business.
Yeah.
You live in discomfort, right? That's your norm.
Yeah.
Right? But to someone... But to say somebody who has just gotten a routine, they're in a job, they don't necessarily like it, but they're paying the bills. You tell them anything outside of that, it'll be terrifying. If you tell somebody, hey, you can get a better job. Why would I try to get a better job? This job is comfortable, this job is paying the bills.
Correct.
I was like, but
what does that mean?
Yeah.
What do I have to do?
What's outside of this?
Yeah.
What if I do this and then I fail? And
when
you start to make the what ifs and you start to fear and all the...
You go to the negative place
all
automatically.
All the doubts come, and then what do? You stay in that comfortable zone, and then you continue along. And it could be forever. And then now you look back at your life, because I hear this all the time from older clients. It's like, I wanted to do this, I said I would do that, but I never did it. And now I'm at this point where I feel as though I can't chase these things.
Yeah.
That is a whole other conversation, because I feel like anybody could do anything at any age, yeah. But
well, then couldn't Sanders get rich at 65.
I'm not telling you.
With a chief recipe.
So it's really a weird space to be in. I think the generations below us are more progressive. They want more.
Yeah.
They realize what they're being set up for is not giving them more.
Right.
So it's now when you have to transfer power from one generation to another, that friction that it creates. Yeah. It might be bad now, or it might take time, but change inevitably has to come, because we can't keep, let's say, pumping out persons who don't have a particular grasp of life, because you will start to see, and we see that now, more youth are coming up with mental health issues, because again, the system hasn't changed, but a lot has changed. We have social media, we have access to all this information. We can easily compare ourselves to everybody just by looking on social media, and now we're dealing with the fact that, am I not good enough? Why am I not where I should be? The panic, the anxiety, and all we know is, well, I have the degree, I know how to get a job. I don't know how to deal with this other stuff. And to figure out, well, how do we move on
That's
from
why
that?
I asked, and we was mentioning before, like, the children that finish, I real focused on that. And the reason why I so focused on the children who just finished CXC is because if I look back, I sit down, I always say, I agree with them, 2020 vision, and they're looking back.
Yeah.
I look back like working. Well, I was working since I went to school. But working right out of school to me is as a hard job. For most people. Right? And that happened to me. And I look at it like some of these children have so much to offer if they taught and learn certain things now. So that's why I asked. And you say something there about the mental aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, in your lecturing to people, talking to people, who you find, what kind of age group you find more receptive to what you're saying?
I find that, I mean, I'm in the millennial, so that's anywhere between like 23 to 40. Most of my clients are that age. You find that the younger ones, those early millennials, or even that generation below us, which I recently found was called Zoomers, which makes sense because they are going at a speed of light that none of us are going to be ready for.
Yeah.
They are more receptive, but it's only because they're younger. They're at this phase where it's like, I am now entering life. I am now entering adulthood. I don't know anything yet. I don't really know anything. I'm not setting anything. Most may not even have substantial debt to say that I feel as though I don't have any options.
Yeah.
Right? When you talk to someone who's later in life and they have the kids, the wife, the house, the mortgage, the loans, it's so much easier to feel trapped.
Yeah.
Right? And I find, especially with that age group, they get to this point where I have these dreams. I need to get the wife or the husband, the kids, the house, security, all of that. They now get it, but they have not thought about what happens next. They just dedicate their lives to their kids and this dream that they now have. And then they slowly start creeping to this level of, why am I not happy? I should be happy. Like, this is what, like, I put all this effort to get here. Why am I not happy? But they put too much stock in this life. You have to think about what happens next. Okay, well, they got to this first dream, this first goal. What happens next? Right? Because there's more to life than just arriving to what you say is your level of success, and then that's it.
Right.
We are humans. We're constantly evolving.
Correct.
We may not realize it, but changes is something that we are accustomed to, even though we don't want it.
Yeah.
So if we get to this point where everything's just the same all the time, we'll feel as though, well, what's more for me, even if we fight it or not.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see the different types of personalities based on age. Of course, everybody is not the same, but just from general feedback I see, you find that the younger ones tend to be like, okay, I can achieve anything. Show me how.
Yeah.
Right? I much prefer that, just because you can temper it just based on what they want, and then just structure it towards something that they actually want to achieve, and just let them go with it.
Was the youngest age group you catered?
I mean, my thing with schools, if any school asks me to come and talk, I come in.
Right.
Like, it don't matter the age group, it don't
We're only hearing
matter.
that all the listeners,
I come in, it don't matter.
everybody,
right?
if
All
they
the
had
teachers
that
and
idea,
principals.
all the teachers, principals, and all they hear me here, we say, so long as all they reach out to him
I'm doing it.
to talk to children in schools, he will be available.
Yeah.
But the thing with the schools is that they want a particular type of talk, which I understand, but I also feel like, one, is not me, and two, I don't want what happened to me to happen to other kids.
Yeah.
And what I found was that when I was in school, I was told life will be real nice once you get a job and your degree, things are nice. You have no worries, right? And this is the lie that got me through to the point where I'm so excited to finish school, so excited to start life, so excited to have responsibilities, and then you get there and you realize, oh wow, this is a lot more than I was told, right? You look, I remember specifically, I was 20 and looking at people who were 30 and saying, wow, they look like they have it all put together, their life is in order, the things they tell me, I'm just like, oh, that sounds really exciting, I could live up to that. And then you get here and you're just like, wow, this is not even close to what I was told. So
Watch now.
So yeah, what's going on? Stick up in right there, Daniel. We're gonna take a break and we'll be right back.